Hi you guys, how are you doing? Welcome back to Southern Latitudes. I'm Robin. And you know what? It's hot. It's like 104 degrees. Well, it feels like that. That's the heat index. And wow, so I just haven't been out here too much in the garden. I've actually been sitting in the house a bit and going through maybe you can here, hold on, let me turn it around. I don't know if y'all can see that or not. My chicken scratch. Anyhow, I have the 4 different gardens there, and just trying to write down. I got it with a pencil instead of a pen, trying to figure out how many rows I've got, how much space I've got for what I'm gonna put in each. And so this is kind of just like the time I sit, especially. It looks like we're going to end up having some sort of tropical Debbie or depression, something out there. Maybe it turns into a Cat 1 or 2. But at this point in this filming of this video, it's going to go into the Gulf and then cross across the state up to Jacksonville and then to the Carolinas. So I was just like, okay. Oh, so that reminds me. So there you go. So that's what I spent my morning doing. I pretty much started at this end and unfastened all of the shade cloth zip ties there. And I just kind of worked my way back slowly, some on this side and then some on the far side, taking off all the pine needles. Oh, the pine needles are such a mess right now. So, and they were all embedded in that shade cloth. So anyhow, I just slowly worked my way back until I got to this back wire that grows on the south side. And anyhow, till I got there, and then I just pulled it off, and then it was lightly stapled down into the base of the garden right here, with these little spikies right there. And so that's what I did. I just went ahead, since the peppers I killed, I said that in the past couple of videos, I just forgot to water and they defoliated. If they die, they die. If they live, wow, I'll be amazed. But, and the celery also, I believe, died in here. Yeah, I don't see any remnants of that either. So it's just really sweet potatoes, some weeds, more sweet potatoes, and this beautiful blue victory salvia. And the eggplants, we're starting to put out eggplants, but you know what? Not really very much. So we're just going to kind of clean slate this. I may leave the peppers in, but anyhow, at some point I'll clean slate all this. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do, if I'll leave the wires up or not. I think, I don't know. I have to think about that. It's kind of nice they're already in place. But and they're not really hurting anybody or anything. But anyhow, okay, so back on point. I've just been working in the house trying to figure out what I want in all the gardens, and plus with all the things that I seeded, and then all the things that I hope to direct sow as well. So a lot of the stuff, the warm plants are going to be transplants. But I have like beans and squash, potentially squash, a couple other things that are going to be direct sown into the garden. Oh, what's that? Well, my neighbor, 2 doors down that way, they have big oaks too. And I guess they called a tree company. And their tree company had a wood chipper guy or truck or vehicle, something, one of their pieces of equipment, and they were chipping along all day. And I was just like, wow, I wonder what they're doing with that. So at the end of the day, I went on over there and I said, hey, what are you guys doing? And I was just, I didn't want to, if they had other plans or they were going to look like they're charging me money, I wasn't going to go for it. But he said, look, I do the chipdrop.com, and he goes, I'm probably like the only guy in the county that actually does it. And I'm like, yeah, I've been on chip drop for about 3 years. And so anyhow, he goes, yeah, so like I'm the only one, and so I'm just going through the list and dropping off at houses that are on the list. So I was like, I'm right here. And he goes, where? You know, and he's pointing way afar. And I'm like, no, I'm right here. And he goes, okay. So I took the lock off the fence. He opened the gates for me, dropped it, shut the gates for me. When I came back out, he was already gone. He was so... I don't even remember the name of their company to thank them, but they were very sweet about it. And now I have this massive pile of nothing but oak. This is strictly oak mulch right here. I'm so ecstatic about that. There's so many little low areas. This area I really wanted to mulch. I really don't want grass in here. But anyhow, and then up front between my rows, I just want mulch. And the whole fact that I didn't have to go get it, I didn't have to lift a finger except for to unlock the gate. Oh, so fantastic. Sometimes people are just so kind and they restore your faith in humanity. So anyhow, that's done. So I'm just up here counting rows versus, you know, where's my irrigation, where's the rows, and make sure they match up with my map. And then we'll start pulling things out as we go. And it's just going to be, August is just brutal. That's just how it goes. I'm going to put this up here. That's just how it goes, you know. What are you going to do? This is what we put in our gardens, and it's the hottest month and the wettest month, the most humid month. And while we're on it, let me mention this. So let me give you a little pep talk. I was watching a video. One of my subscribers has a YouTube channel. I think it's Plumeria Cottage. I hope I'm saying that right. And she's a really sweet Floridian lady. And she's like learning. I believe she said she was in year 3 of gardening. And, you know, she had started later. Well, probably had started at different times of year. But anyhow, she's learning. And now she's bumping up and starting seeds now because she saw the onion party video. And other videos, I'm sure. But the point is that she saw how I'm starting warm season seeds and crops like that. And sometimes I think maybe I'm talking too fast. Maybe I don't explain things well enough. And I should slow down and share with you my thought process, because sometimes I feel like it's too much information on you guys. And maybe it's not. Maybe it's stuff I should go through slower. Okay. I was going to have a talk with y'all, but I had to change locations. I had company up front. So anyhow, let's just start back at the beginning. You know those circus acts where they put the plate on the stick and they're spinning them and spinning them and spinning them. They have to keep going back and forth to keep it all going, keep it in balance. Otherwise, you have something, you know, a plate crash and hit the ground. Well, gardening in Florida in fall is a little bit like that, because you have, your light is changing, right? We've already gone past summer solstice, and every day is getting shorter, 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 shorter. So say you want to have your plants in the ground by October, like lettuce and cold season things. Well, that doesn't give you very much time. It certainly doesn't give you enough maturity time to get a broccoli, like a whole head put together. It might be great, you know, for leaf lettuce, but not for broccoli, cauliflower, and all those other things. So the light, that's that one plate we're spinning, right? Spinning, spinning, spinning. Okay, we're working with light. So it's great. So maybe you want to plant August or September, something earlier, so you can get all the way to that stage of a full broccoli head. Well, then you also have hurricanes. Okay, you're playing with that plate and spinning it and spinning it. Hopefully no hurricanes come to you, but usually a hurricane does come to you. What do? You know, for back here in the backyard, I'm usually pretty good with water. You know, it gets hit with water, maybe rain, maybe wind too, but the wind is less the lower you go. Like the high winds aren't too bad, really low to the ground. But the rains in my front gardens can tend to sit for a while, a day or two. And if we get something that dumps like over a foot or more of rain, then we can usually end up with plants underwater. Another reason for the mulch. So that plate, I'm still spinning on that plate, right? You know, hurricane plate. I got light, hurricane. I hope this visual is good for you, right? Okay, then we got humidity. So that really plays into effect with your squashes. So I don't know. You want to try squash? That's great. But you really run into that decreasing light, the hurricane factor. That rain is going to bring a lot of disease into your cucurbit family's things, whether it's cucumber squash or whatever, you know, yellow squash, zucchini, things like that. So then you have humidity, and that's going to bring in powdery mildew and mold and other things. And then you have the fourth plate over here, that's bugs. And bugs are still very plentiful right now. They've been breeding all summer, right? And hopefully you have a good ladybug supply, and maybe praying mantis, maybe dragonflies. Those are all good predatory bugs. But, you know, you're still going to have things very active because the bugs haven't, like versus like the spring, they're still dormant and kind of waking up slowly. So you might, you know, start in February, but you don't have bug pressure till April 1st or something. So, you know, you're spinning that plate and you got to measure, I don't have enough light, but the bugs will be less here and less hurricanes here. And, you know, it's hard for me to tell you exact dates. I have videos on exact dates if you want to, but everything's very specific. Those things are from my, well, at that time we were 9B and now 10A. But Central Florida adjusted if you're a little north or south. But like even say the 9B that I was is not the 9B that California is. Completely different because they don't have that plate they're spinning of humidity, right? Their bugs are going to be completely different. And their nights, temperatures is another plate. Spinning those plates, right? Temperatures. In my area, we're pretty fortunate. My first frost date is usually around December 30th, and my last frost date is January 31st. Now, do I always go by that? Not so much. Usually by Christmas, we're getting really close. Now, we didn't do it last year, but we've done it many years, where Christmas, we're very on that edge of frost or freezing. And then I've even gone all the way to, you know, the middle of February for freezing. This is specific. You have to look these things up for yourself in your zone, in your exact city, your area code or your zip code. So anyhow, I have learned all this because I have years and years of spinning the plates, right? And as you learn, grow, you got your circus going on, you're spinning the plates, you're going to figure out what's best for you. And, you know, for me here, I would love it. I used to do it where I put everything right in the ground, like in August. You know, hurricanes or not, I just put seed in the ground. I wasted so much seed because the seeds would wash away in the big deluges of rain. You know, the bugs, maybe they may rot in the ground even. You know, this is why you see me putting so much emphasis on transplanting in little containers, boxes, trays, whatever you got. I'm the queen of repurposing everything or saving things. I save seeds, save all the stuff. My whole family knows that they kind of make fun of me for that. But yeah, that's why I start everything now and early. It doesn't make sense with the weather. It doesn't make sense with the hurricane plate. It doesn't make sense with the humidity plate, the bug plate. But it does for the light plate. And I got to keep that light plate going. Am I making any sense, or is this just like crazy talk for y'all? You know, I have to figure out, because fall in Florida can be great and it can be difficult. You know, if I'm like the onions, it doesn't matter. I go with the onions because once they're in the ground, they're kind of on their own. They can even take a frost, a freeze, all that. Celery is the same. The broccoli, the cauliflower can take light frost. Every time I do, oh, I left my booklet out there in the front. I'll have to go get it. But whenever I plant a garden, I try to put the tomatoes and peppers in the same plot because I'm going to have to cover those come December 30th or 31st, right? You know, whenever the freezes, warnings, and the nights, you know, I stay up all night with the weather app, you know, Weather Underground, looking and seeing, did we make it? Did we make it? So, you know, I guess that explanation needed to come out to you guys. And I need to teach you how to teach yourself to garden. Specific for your area, your soils, your whatever your favorites are for eating, and, you know, your microclimates. You know, I have a little microclimate here because of the trees. Eventually that's not going to be here forever. And, you know, but, and also I have the coastal breeze. I kind of have that benefit being by the water. Now, a lot of Floridians are by water. So it just depends, you know. I think the East Coast benefits from the Atlantic sea breeze. I don't know if the Gulf, sometimes they still get pretty doggone cold, even if we're both in 9Bs. You know, so you learn your yard. You learn what works and what keeps those plates spinning in order for you to get fruit and vegetables on your table. So, anyhow, I guess I'll rewatch this back when I edit it, and I may have a lot of sentences down at the bottom trying to re-explain myself better, but I hope that's helpful to you as I'm planning out where things go. And, you know, I'm taking down the shade cloth because we got tropical something Debbie out there, and, you know, I have mulch coming, and so it's not a work video, but I hope it's really educational and exciting for you because you now have a lot of homework to do to figure out when you want to start your seeds. And yes, this is when I start mine, but maybe you don't. Maybe you're down there in South Florida and, I don't know, Okeechobee. Lori, you're in Okeechobee. I mean, you and I usually start about the same, but sometimes, you know, if you're down by Miami, you can wait. You got time because your best season is coming, and you still have all that hurricane plate kind of as the big emphasis of this month and next month for you. So, anyhow, I didn't write anything down. I hope this makes sense. And with that being said, I have talked your ears off. So you guys, have a great weekend. Stay very safe in this weather. We're going to have a lot of rain and a lot of wind. Regardless of where you are in Florida, I think we're all going to get hit in some way. So you guys, stay safe. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye. I forgot to say, take care, God bless. And see you in the next video. Bye.